to manifest to the group that the PDP-Laban's success in defending Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte's disqualification case was also largely in part because of the leadership of the legal team headed by former PACC Commissioner Attorney Gregorio Luis Contacto III, former Region 5 President Attorney Maria Caterina Contacto, and Attorney Jimbo Flores. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Chair, the emotional additional manifestation of Attorney Yvette Contacto. With that, I move that it be adopted as part of her report, Mr. Chair.
Any objection? No, it's been seconded and no objection. The amended manifestation is hereby adopted.
We now proceed to the number 7 of today's agenda, the disciplinary matters.
Mr. Moderator, I think we have not addressed the issue of the report of the Treasurer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that considering how important the report of the party treasurer, being the most accountable officer of the party, I so move that we refer the matter to the Office of the Secretary General for appropriate action. This failure of Mr. Evan Ribadolia to render an account of party funds in his custody is serious. This is an important matter that the party should seriously look into. So I so move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to refer. Seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, motion is adopted. And Secretary, you are hereby authorized to take appropriate action against Mr. Ivan Ribadulla.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd just like to inform the body that we have sent several letters to
show on the screen the proposed agenda for tomorrow's National Assembly. I move for 1 minute suspension, Mr. Chair, while we are putting on the screen the proposed agenda in tomorrow's National Assembly.
Okay, meeting is suspended for 1 minute.
While we are in break, may I request everybody to not please pass on to this area because the camera will be interrupted. I move that we resume meeting, Mr. Chair.
Meeting will now resume.
May I read the proposed agenda for tomorrow's National Assembly meeting? First, parade of colors. Second, singing of the national anthem. Third, the invocation. Fourth, the recitation of the PDP-Laban Creed. 5, determination of quorum. 6, approval and adoption of the agenda. 7, report of the National Council, which would include the presentation of National Council resolutions and approval of the report. Number 8, election of officers, national officers and national committee chairmen, which would include the voting proper and announcement of winners. Number 10, oath-taking of the newly elected national officers. Number 11, oath-taking of the new PDP-Laban members. Number 12, setting the date of the National Convention. Number 13, introduction of the chairman. Number 14, chairman's address. And number 15, adjournment or except of colors. I move that the agenda, the proposed agenda for tomorrow's National Assembly meeting be approved, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion for the adoption of the agenda for tomorrow's National Assembly. Is there a second motion? Seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Chair, may I recognize the chairperson of the membership committee, Chairperson Undersecretary Astrabel Pimentel Nay.
Chairperson, membership, Astra, you're recognized. You have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to move for tomorrow's National Assembly regarding the assigning of the voting strength to PDP chapters. As per our constitution, the voting members to the National Assembly are, of course, the national officers, the cabinet members who are PDP-Laban members, members of Congress, senators and representatives, district representatives, the governors, the mayors of independent and highly urbanized cities, the presidents and the secretaries general of the regional council, and of course, we should base, Mr. President, the chapters or councils that are in good standing, those that are reflected in the CUs of PDP-Laban submitted to COMELEC dated November 12, 2020, signed by then Party President Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel. So that's my manifestation, Mr. Chair, as to the composition of the voting members to the National Assembly. And later on, I believe there is a need also for us to have to appoint the election committee for tomorrow, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson Astra. Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Chair, I move that the manifestation of the chairperson of the membership committee in regard to the assigning of voting strength of PDP chapters be approved by the National Council.
So, so there's a motion duly seconded. I just want to be clear about it. That is in accordance to the ZEOs that
Yes.
was filed in 2019, signed by Senator Coco Pimentel.
This is in accordance with the CUs filed by the party dated November 20, 2020 and signed by then Party President Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel. I so move, Mr. Chair. CUs or SIUS stands for Sworn Information of Updated Statement of Party Officers and
The
Members.
motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Thank you. Mr. Moderator.
Let's go to the next item of the agenda. The administrative matters in preparation for the 17 July 2021 National Assembly. Since we have a confirmation that the party chairman, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, will preside tomorrow's National Assembly, and considering his security protocol, time restriction, and IATF guidelines, I move that this council approve a resolution authorizing the vice chairman to open and preside over the National Assembly and dispose of the preliminary matters until the arrival of the party chairman, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. I so move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion. Seconded. Any objection? Motion is approved.
Mr. Chair, one of the most important item of the agenda in tomorrow's assembly would be the election of the party's national officers and membership of the party. In this regard, may I have the honor to propose that we create an election committee for purposes of tomorrow's election during our National Assembly and to appoint its chairman or chairperson and members as follows. May I move that the chair of the election committee would be Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre, former Secretary of Justice, now Vice Chairman of the National Police Commission. And as members, we have Attorney Ervin Standarte and Attorney Sergio Yap II. I move that we elect or we create an election committee with those mentioned personalities as chairman and members of the said committee. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Moved, seconded. Any objection? From the Zoom? Motion is motion. It has been moved for the adoption of the this COMELEC or our COMELEC
Election Committee.
chairman. Move and seconded. No objection. No objection. The Zoom. Wala, no? So motion is approved. And I would like to introduce who are the three persons: Attorney Aguirre, Attorney Standarte, and Attorney Yap,
May
the election committee.
I move for 1 minute suspension as we call on Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre, Attorney Ervin Standarte, and Attorney Sergio Yap to please come forward and be in front and to take their oath or affirmation as election officers in tomorrow's National Assembly meeting.
Meeting
Mr.
is suspended for 1 minute.
With this, may I also ask that our chief legal counsel, the presidential chief legal counsel, Secretary Salpanelo is here, physically present.
He has, by the way, Attorney Secretary Panelo is here, and I would just like to inform the body that he took his BMS or the Basic Membership Seminar already, and he will take his oath of membership tomorrow. With
Yes.
President.
Wow, fantastic. So let's welcome Secretary Panelo. So again, may I ask attorneys Aguirre, Estandarte, and Yap, the second, to please come forward. Considering that Mr. Chair, given that only Attorney Aguirre and Attorney Sandarte are here, physically present, may I ask the chair to administer the oath or affirmation of these members to be our official election committee chairperson and members in tomorrow's election. Raise your left hand.
Can you please repeat again? I swear that I will not attempt to influence the vote of any member. I will not attempt to find out how anyone voted. If I found out how anyone voted, I will not tell it. I will not tell anyone else. And I will carry out my duties faithfully and in accordance with the PDP-Laban Constitution. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's give a big hand to our newly sworn chairman and election members. Yeah, I am informed that Attorney Sergio Yap will arrive tomorrow, Mr. Chair, so he's going to take his oath tomorrow. Mr. Chair,
Meeting will now resume.
let's resume, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, considering that tomorrow's election will be attended by our party chairman, in the interest of time, safety, and health protocols, and to give our party mates the opportunity to nominate whoever their favorite candidates for the national positions of the party, I move that the election committee be allowed to open and accept the nomination from now until 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, 17th July 2021. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
The motion has been made and seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
May I repeat the just approved motion that the election committee has been allowed to open and to accept the nomination from now until 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, 17 July 2021. That's for the information of the body.
Yes, thank you. You know, this is a very important activity for us. This is the defining moment for this party in electing our officers. We are truly exercising the basic principle of PDP-Laban. Currently, all national officers and committee chairmen are acting in holdover or appointed capacity. Such nomination and voting process is what is in accordance with our Constitution. Gone are those days that only few members will assign and appoint our national officers. Mr. Moderator, can you please announce the nomination process?
Again, for our party mates who are in the Zoom, our technical team here said that we have perfect technology here. Maybe you are encountering some problems with your respective internet providers, and you may have very poor internet connectivity. But at any rate, if you have any suggestion or any comments, just register that you would want to say something, and the moderator and the chair would gladly recognize you. Well, Mr. Chair, pursuant to your direction, may I inform the body that those who would want to nominate may get in touch with the election committee at elecom.pdplaban@gmail.com. I repeat that. Elecom in small letters, elecom.pdplaban@gmail.com. I repeat, elecom.pdplaban@gmail.com. So you may get in touch with the election committee. Those who would want to get a copy of the election rules and nomination form, that may get in touch with the election committee. So this is the nomination form shown on the screen, and the election rules will be provided to you by the election committee. Should you wish to have one, you can just email us, and we are going to forward to anyone interested to read the rules for the election of tomorrow's officers, Mr. Chair.
They can submit this online, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And for those people that are physically present, can they submit it on a hard copy?
Mr. Chair, given that we are setting all the internal issues of the party, may I strongly propose that we constitute a new PDP-Laban national headquarters in preparation for the 2022 national and local elections. Furthermore, as per Section 1, Article 17 of our party's constitution, the Secretary General has the function to establish an office which shall serve as the party secretariat and communication center. I strongly move that we replace the current PDP-Laban headquarters and authorize the Secretary General to find a new PDP-Laban headquarters and to establish an office of the party secretariat and communication. I so strongly move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion for the second to look for a new office and set up the office. Do I hear second the motion? Seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, motion is hereby approved.
Mr. Chair, for the information of everybody, again, the election of our national officers and national committee chairpersons is in accordance with the provisions of Article 17, 18, and 20 of the PDP-Laban Constitution as amended in 2007. It is only the National Assembly that has the sole power to elect party officers. With this, Mr. Chair, for the information of everybody, in tomorrow's National Assembly, may I refer you to the screen for tomorrow's admission rule and restriction. So, are we ready to flash on the screen? So, Mr. Chair, may I move for 1 minute suspension while our technical people are preparing for the
Yeah, meeting is suspended for 1 minute to give the technical people to put on the screen the process of the election. Yeah.
Okay. While we're waiting that the rules for the National Assembly, admission rules pursuant to the Philippine Security Group, IATF, and the Presidential Management Staff, I just read this following.
We resume now the meeting.
Yes, please, Mr. Chair.
Meeting is resumed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. These are the simple admission rules for the National Assembly meeting tomorrow. All participants for tomorrow's National Assembly should have printed PSG, Presidential Security Group Health Declaration Form and Rapid Test Screening Form, together with RT-PCR negative result. Again, all participants for tomorrow's National Assembly meeting shall have printed PSG Health Declaration Form and Rapid Test Screening Form, together with RT-PCR test negative result. May I ask our technical people if they can already flash the rule of admission in tomorrow's National Assembly?
By the way, for the information of the body, we had the laboratory personnel early this morning up to 12 noon who conducted PCR for those people that will be attending tomorrow. And that was done for free, courtesy of PDP-Laban.
Yeah, so let's give a big hand to the leadership of the PDP-Laban for accommodating us.
Sir, in addition to that, we want to remind that even if you have a printed RT-PCR, tomorrow you have to undergo security check and also the antigen swabbing test tomorrow. That is a requirement ng PSG. And I would like to inform everyone with the permission of the chair that the ballroom can only accommodate 250 individuals, including the working staff. So in advance, we'd like to apologize because not everyone can be accommodated inside the ballroom. We will give priority to the member of the National Assembly because there will be a voting rights. So we suggest that you come early tomorrow because the lockdown will be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. The President is expected to arrive at 3 p.m. So 1 p.m. ba? 1 p.m. yung lockdown, sorry. So kailangan po na nandito na kayo by that time. And ang naka-confirm na po ngayon, just to tell you, is already 330 attendees and we only can accommodate 250. So in advance, we'd like to apologize. And